Hello, 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 and welcome to the Wednesday Wind Down. Hello, everyone. This is the Wednesday Wind Down. I'm Natasha McCray, your Love CEO. I'm very excited to be talking to you guys tonight. I want you to check in. I really want to check in with you and see how you're doing. I know there's been a lot of stress and anxiety associated with this election, that which shall not be named, but we got to talk about it. We have to talk about it. I would love to know where you're tuning in from, who is out there. Give me a shout out. Say, hey, I'm here. I'm going to make sure I turn this music down. Sorry, give me a second. I guess I could have told Siri to turn it down. But man, there's so much going on. And I'd love to know how you're doing. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about how to stay hopeful when life seems to just suck ass, because that's what it does sometimes for us. Or that's what it seems like is happening for us. All right, you guys. So, I got so many things going on. Let me make sure I turn off the phone so that I can have a moment with you. Yes, Kamika, Detroit, Michigan in the house. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, man. I know that a lot of people have expressed a lot of anxiety. I've seen that come across my feed. And myself included. I literally shut it down yesterday. I didn't watch anything. I got snippets of news. I read the news. Sometimes reading short snippets, bite-sized chunks are very helpful. But today I'm going to talk about how you can stay hopeful during this time. Oftentimes we go into a place of hopelessness. And that can come from a bad breakup. That can come from bad relationships. That can come from, the person you voted for not winning an election. Because, I'm talking to people and there's some people on both sides of the aisle here. So I want to address that, but I want to give you a couple of tools that can help you during this time. So much has happened in 2020, and I just want to remind you that you have power. And what we've been dealing with is something that can't be ignored. Some people push through it differently. Some people go plowing straight ahead. They're like, look, I'm starting businesses. My bank account is overflowing. And then some people are just like frozen. You're stuck. And that may be a sign that you are hopeless. That might be a sign you're hopeless. I printed my notes, but I don't know where they went. I think I just didn't grab them. But sometimes you know that you are hopeless when you feel like there is no way out. When you feel like there's no way out, I'll never forget. Oh my gosh. I'll never forget being in a relationship, and it always revolved around relationships with me. Just back in the day, I made so many bad choices, and I'll never forget when I went through my divorce. Hey, Kat, when I went through my divorce, I moved in with my parents, and I would go to work, come home from work, and I would just lay on the couch. And I couldn't even tell you anything I watched during those years, actually months. But that year, I just felt so hopeless. I felt like my world was ending. My mom would tell me stories of things that my kid did, and I don't remember it. That's the hardest thing. Like, if you're hopeless, you may be constantly in your head, living in this space of things are just horrible. But I want to tell you a myth. A myth about hopelessness is when you're hopeless, you will be tricked into thinking you are powerless. And I want you to know that hopeless does not mean helpless. Hopeless does not mean powerless. Hopeless is simply that your thoughts have been going down the rabbit hole of hopelessness. That's basically what it is. You are having thoughts of hopelessness. Like, for instance, I'm laying on the couch. I'm having thoughts of who's going to want a single mom. I'm having thoughts of, why does he always do this to me? I'm having thoughts of, I'm never going to find anyone. I'm having thoughts of being old and being single because I wanted to be in a relationship. I'm having thoughts of never having, the life that I want. I'm having thoughts of, why can't I just have someone love me the way I want them to love me? I would always, and then I began to say those things. So I know that my filter comes through my heartbreak and relationships, But I also want to address it from the perspective of where we are in the world, what's going on. Is that we can't ignore what's happening, but we don't have to live and revisit it constantly on our minds like it is a movie playing in our head. Kat says, hey Giselle, what's going on? Kat said, I've made the worst relationship choices too. Girl, honey, I made the worst relationship choices, and that can send you into a place of hopelessness. You start doubting yourself. You start doubting. Some people may go as far as doubting why they are here. But I want to let you know, I'm going to give you a couple of tips on breaking out of that hopeless state. Some people are feeling hopeless about if, the person who's in office stays. People are having that hopeless because those hopeless thoughts. And what we've done is we are thinking worst case scenarios constantly. Worst case scenarios. So let me give you one. I'm going to tell you, stop it. Stop it now. Stop having those negative thoughts. I know I came out swinging. I got the crack the whip, spread the love coaching effect. My clients tell me that, but it's always love. I always love you. My thing is that I want to see you live a life that has peace. I want to see you live a life that feels good for you. I want to see you live a life where you are living out the dreams and the goals that you have put in front of yourself, that you're living that you're not always wanting it. And if you are in a space of being hopeless, you're constantly in that scarcity wanting state where you are reaching and grasping for things. But what I want to do is I want to give you a couple of tools to set yourself up to move beyond having that the world is over, my life is over, energetic feeling. All right. So you need to have you need to have a come to Jesus moment. You need to have a come to Jesus moment. You need to be in this moment, realize that you are in a hopeless state. Because most of the time, if you're not going to address it, then you're just sweeping it under the rug. And if you're sweeping it under the rug, those are all separate words. I know I was throwing them together. But if you're sweeping it under the rug, then what that means is you're just going to have a rug. Like, can you imagine just putting trash under the rug and the rug's like this and you're walking over, then you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. And then, oh, I don't want to deal with that. So then every time you get ready to cross the rug, you are going to fall flat on your face. You will trip over those things. That thing will become this eyesore in your life. You may not know what's going on. You might be like, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at it, but you are hopeless. And the people around you know that you are hopeless. And I'm not talking about the the chemical reaction. I can't remember the word that I'm looking for right now. The chemical imbalance of psychological hopelessness. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when we have moments in life that have put us on a track of thinking hopeless thoughts that have led us into this space. So you need to have a come to Jesus moment and say, yo, I am in this space. Because if you don't, then you can't address it. Number two is I need you to open yourself up to unlimited possibilities. If you are having this thought about what's going on with the election and it's going to be horrible if this person, gets in office and you just are so far gone about how you feel about this situation, I'm going to need you to think about the unlimited possibilities. I'm going to need you to think about the possibility that your life will be okay. The possibility that people on the ground and you with your activism can make changes in your home. It's not just going to be that one person and the world is over and doom and a gray cloud's going to come over and strike lightning and floods and fires. That's not happening. And I need you to get that out of your mind. I understand that it can be hurtful. I understand that it can be like, whoa, taken aback that there's someone who responds this way and there's people who support them. But I need you to not give that person power. So I'm going to ask that you open yourself up to unlimited possibilities as you're looking at this situation with the election, or as you're looking at the situation of maybe going through a breakup. If you're going through a breakup and you're just like, no one's going to love me, everyone always hates me, why do they always do this to me? Those are the wrong questions you're asking. If you're going through a breakup or you're dealing with this election, I need you to open yourself up to unlimited possibilities. That knowing, I know this too shall pass. I know a year from now, 2 years from now, 6 months from now, 2 weeks from now, I will feel different. I know that there's someone out there seeking me as I am seeking for them. I know that someone is aligned in my path. I want you to set yourself up for that. Let's see. I wasn't looking at comments. It's hard to predict worst case when you haven't gotten there to know. Yeah, exactly. You're predicting worst case scenarios, and that's what is happening. Is a lot of people are living in those worst case scenarios. Now, so why don't you play that trick on yourself? Like, this is great, Giselle, that you say that, because what needs to happen is, how about you predict best case scenarios? Why does it seem like we always go into worst case scenarios? We need to predict best case scenarios for ourselves. Let's do that. So that goes back to what Giselle was saying. How about we continue with the unlimited possibilities? What are the possibilities of things that can happen for us? Oh, if you're going through a breakup right now and you might be single and no kids, envision yourself that there's going to be someone out there, and my babies are going to be running around while, my husband brings me breakfast in bed. The same way you do these negative worst case scenarios, I'm going to ask that you open yourself up to unlimited possibilities and trick the brain. Go in the back door with best case scenarios. And that leads to what my point on my bullet point is a plan for the best. Oftentimes we're planning for the worst. Let's plan for the worst. Let's plan for the worst. Like, people going and buying toilet paper and getting food, and they're thinking that we're going to be on lockdown and all this other stuff. That's fine. Be prepared. That's fine. But there should be equal amount of time where you are preparing for the best. Did you buy the champagne to celebrate? Have you decided to push send on that business you were thinking about starting? Like, what is what is it? Do you got nice negligee on? You trying to pull them? Or are you still wearing your holy draws? Like, there are certain things that we need to start preparing for best case scenario. Hey, Chuck, how's it going? If you ask yourself a question, your subconscious will answer it. Yes, Christy, we've talked about that often, is when you say, like, why is this happening to me? Why does it? You should be like, well, why am I the most sought after, love coach in the world? Why? Subconscious is going to figure that out. Yes, Kat, don't give up on love. Chuck is encouraging. Chuck, I miss you. Thanks for coming in here encouraging. Worry is misuse of the imagination. It really is. Whoever said that is beautiful. It really is. So I'm going to ask that you stop it, that you take your power back and engage in empowered thinking. You are the gatekeeper of your thoughts. If you are woe is me, bottle of wine under the kitchen table, trying to hide from the world because you think that the person you don't want is going to be elected, I'm going to ask that you stop right there and take your power back. You decide that, yes, okay, this was not ideal for me. But you decide that you are going to start thinking empowered thoughts. That the thought of, oh my God, what about these people? Are people be watching, marching down my street with tiki lamps? How about the love from the neighbor that you have? How about we start looking at that of an appreciation? Because sometimes let's think about the breakup, and I'm not going to be on here too long, but let's think about the breakup. Sometimes Christy says to protect ourselves. Yes, Christy. Our subconscious only job is to protect ourselves. And often we do go down that rabbit hole because our subconscious's job is to help us eliminate pain. So yeah, and that's real. And that's real. But I'm definitely going to ask that you buck the system. You buck the system. You challenge the status quo. You challenge it, because it is up to you to create an alternative mindset for yourself. You have a choice. You have a choice. If looking at the news makes you hopeless, turn that off. Turn it off. You are a grown adult, and you have a choice to turn the knob, we don't have knobs no more, huh? To push the button. I just aged myself. To push the button on the remote. So no matter where you are, if you're in a breakup, if you are hating the state that America is in, if you are like just so far annoyed with what we are collectively going through, I'm going to ask that you, one, honor that. That's number one. You're going to accept where you are and acknowledge it. You want to honor it. Don't sweep it under the rug. Then the next step is going to be you open yourself up to unlimited possibilities. That is, it's imperative that you do that. Plan for the best. The same way you plan for the worst, I'm going to need you to start implementing planning for the best in there. Planning for the best case scenario. And then I want you to engage in empowered thinking. Engage in empowered thinking and start choosing that you are not going to go down the rabbit, because we can paint the picture of how horrible things will be. But I want you to start thinking about life and start painting the most beautiful pictures and the most beautiful images of your future self and your future life. And whether that's 5-minute future self, 10-minute future self, 5-day future self, 2-year future self. But it's time that you use that same imagination of you painting the worst case scenario into painting what is the best thing for yourself. So that is what I got for you guys. I want you to go out and make it an amazing week. That is the Wednesday Wind Down. I'm Natasha McCray. I'm your Love CEO. I help individuals stay true to their own goals and tap into their genuine confidence so that they can live the lives that they want by calling in more love. So I love y'all. Share this post. And if you listen to replay, #replay. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.